Thank you, Senator Cardin. Senator Wicker.
Mr. Chairman and Mr. Ranking Member, I have to say that this has been a very disappointing hearing. I was hoping you would choose some magicians to come in here, perhaps some alchemists, to tell us how to stir a pot of lead, get it to the right temperature, and turn it into silver and gold, and we wouldn't actually have to pay for infrastructure. But here we've learned, and we're hearing it from both sides of the aisle, presumably even from the President of the United States, that if we want to build roads and bridges and infrastructure, we have to come up with some revenue solutions to actually pay for this. So I'm just heartsick and disappointed that we're having to go down this path. But since we are, Mr. Braceras, you're saying that the Highway Trust Fund is a solid mechanism for delivering the funds in the right way. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you think for the next 10 to 20 years, the gasoline tax is going to be the way to put money into that trust fund?
I believe so, yes, sir.
Okay. Do you advocate, or have you given any thought to going from the per gallon to a percentage of the price, as some states have done?
Yes, in the state of Utah, we haven't made that jump, but we've indexed the gas tax. And the gas tax rises based on CPI.
So it's the same result.
It's close to the same result, and the legislature has put a cap, but it's a pretty high cap on how high that will continue to go. And every year, our tax commission makes that adjustment based on the the cost. And I'm sorry.
When was the per gallon? When was the last per gallon enacted?
2015.
Okay, and what is it?
It is today. It's sitting at 29.
I'm asking the federal. I'm asking.
It's the federal rate is 18.4 on gas.
And when was that implemented?
93.
Okay. What if we had indexed that back at that point?
Well,
where would we be?
We've lost about 50% of our purchasing power, Senator, since that point. Now, based on what you said as an index, I don't know if you'd completely make that up, but we would not be fighting, in my opinion, we're fighting two battles. We're fighting the inflation battle, that is a pretty powerful one, and we're also fighting the fact that we haven't made a change in so long. So
if we had just kept it even with inflation, we'd be 50% better.
Yes, sir.
Words to that effect. Now, your organization also has published a matrix of illustrative surface transportation revenue options, which would be ways in decades to come to move to other forms. And then we've been talking about this user fee or vehicle, whatever the terms are, vehicles per mile and things like that. How do we, let me ask you, Mr. Braceras, which of those options do you think are the most viable going forward? And then if Mr. Corliss and Mr. Lanham could follow up and explain exactly mechanically how this works, and we differentiate between rural roads and private roads and interstate highways in our ability to collect the revenues, and are there privacy concerns that you think are real in terms of vehicle owners having to give out that information?
Senator, I'll speak for Carlos Braceras as Executive Director of the Utah DOT in this response. Yes, I think the gas tax is the way to go in the future. As an association, we provided a menu of options, and over the next 18 months, we want to hone in on a better way of providing advice to Congress on what options are available. But as as you have the challenge of getting all your members on the same page, we have the same challenge as 52 members to get on the same page as well. But I believe the gas tax is the way to go in the near future, and I also believe that road usage charge is the term we're using instead of VMT, but road usage charge is the path forward for a longer-term fix to this, and we need to start transitioning in. And I'll leave it at that.
Okay, so how hard is it to differentiate? How do we do that between the rural roads and the interstates and private roads?
Senator, yeah, you can differentiate, but it will require technology that we've seen some pushback is with GPS tracking, and obviously where you've driven is been a issue for many groups with regards to privacy. Well, what road was I driving at what time? And but that's exactly the information we need, because engineers, the smart ones, that's exactly how they design these roads, is what kind of traffic's going to be on and when. And so I think it feeds to the managers of the system how to better take care of the roads and design them better in the future when we actually have better data in the entire network.
How do we do it, Mr. Corliss?
Well, Senator, either you do odometer readings, which is very imprecise and every road is the same, every mile is the same, or you do it with what is already the technology that's installed in most vehicles. You have a device, it's using GPS, it knows where you're going. There are definite privacy concerns. The good news about us having 5 to 7 years is I believe we can work those out. But I think we've got to be precise. We've got to use GPS because there's a fairness issue that I brought up.
Yeah.
And I don't think every mile is the same with you travel with rural versus urban.
Or than a vehicle.